it's Tiffany Ashton with ClinEssentials. I'm here with another video, and today's topic is the FAQ log, otherwise known as the Frequently Asked Questions log. So one of my ultimate pro tips as a CTM is ensuring that there is a FAQ log started on my study. It's best to start an FAQ log at the beginning of the study. It could be as early as the kickoff meeting, and you carry that FAQ log all the way through the completion of the study. As a CTM, you often get a lot of questions, and sometimes those questions have a running theme. You see the same question come across from either sites or CRAs, and you're finding yourself answering that same question multiple times. And that's where the FAQ log comes in. The FAQ log can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet where you keep a running log of all the questions that come in and the corresponding response. For instance, is this particular patient eligible? Yes or no? And then if there's ever a question regarding that particular patient and if they're eligible, that response can be used across the board. Let's take an example. Let's say you're working on a type 2 diabetes study. And there's a question that comes up often because the protocol is a little vague on if patients with rheumatoid arthritis, which is a type of autoimmune disease, would be eligible for the study. And so maybe you've answered that question during the study startup process, and then that question comes up again once the first site is activated, and then you see that question come up again later down the line when the fifth site is open. And so with the FAQ log, once you receive that question for the first time, you can log that question and the corresponding response, whether rheumatoid arthritis patients are eligible and can be included or they cannot be included, and you keep that on the log. So then when a CRA or another team member has a similar question, they don't have to come to you as the CTM and in turn you go to the medical monitor. You can go right to the FAQ log and say, well, we received the response on this exact same question 6 months ago, and this is the response. And so it cuts down the amount of time that is used and spent with follow-up. On a FAQ log, you can have multiple categories. So let's walk you through setting up your own FAQ log as a CTM. On the first column of your spreadsheet, you want to have the category. Is it a medication question? Is it an eligibility question? Is it a vendor question? An IVRS question? What's the category that it would fall into? And you want to always categorize your question before you put it on the log. So let's take eligibility. Then the question would be, is a patient with rheumatoid arthritis eligible? That's the question. And then the answer would be whether they are or are not eligible. You would put that answer there. You would also want to put who provided that answer. So if that was the medical monitor that provided that answer initially, you want to put that the medical monitor, John Smith, provided this answer that no, this rheumatoid arthritis patients are not eligible for this type 2 diabetes study. You want to put that there on that same line going across. And then you want to put the date. And then lastly, you want to put any comments. Sometimes eligibility criteria comes through and it's based on a case-by-case basis. The medical monitor cannot make a blanket statement and they have to review the case on a case-by-case basis. And so that's what you would put on the comments or in the comments section if it's a criteria or a question that needs to be analyzed on a case-by-case basis and the person that's reviewing the FAQ log doesn't need to take it as a blanket statement. But as you can see, FAQ logs can really help speed up things and take out that redundant answering the same questions over and over from multiple parties, because what you can do is refer them to the FAQ log. As a CTM, you should set up the FAQ log with all the questions that you come across. It could be something internal, it could be something that you learned during a meeting. You can fill that FAQ log up with as much data as possible. So let's take an example. Say, for instance, that you're in a meeting and you hear that the unscheduled visit that is a part of the schedule of events is optional. And that's something that people would want to know. So you can go ahead and you could say your category would be schedule of events. The question is the unscheduled visit optional? You would put yes. You would put the date of that meeting that you were in. You would put who said that, who confirmed that the unscheduled visit is optional. And then you can, in the comments, you could add that this response or this question was asked and discussed in the kickoff meeting or whatever meeting that has details. And so in that instance, it wasn't a direct question to you as a CTM, but you took some valuable information that would be good for the sites to know, for the CRAs to know, and for other internal team members to know, and you added it to the FAQ log. So that's how you can fill up your FAQ log, not only from questions that come into you from the site, the CRA's internal team, but you can also put need to know information on that FAQ log to make it as robust as possible. Now let's take it a step further. Let's imagine that your study is going to have an upcoming protocol amendment. Do you think that the FAQ log could be of any value to you? I think so. Now, let's go back to that first example where we talked about if a patient with rheumatoid arthritis was eligible for the study. Potentially, the protocol is not clear in that aspect. And so if we are doing an upcoming protocol amendment, it's our opportunity to specify and add some data in regards to a patient with a history of rheumatoid arthritis. So you can see how the FAQ log can also help in the future, where you can quickly filter based off of the categories and see if your protocol amendment needs to have additional details added for those questions that are most frequently asked. Another one could be if there's a medication. Is this medication exclusionary? Is this medication class exclusionary? If you receive a lot of those questions on the FAQ log, it's an opportunity for you to add like the classes of medications that are exclusionary, the specific medications that are exclusionary. Any of those items could be added right to that protocol amendment based off of the FAQ log. And the last tip that I want to tell you about the FAQ log is you can scale the FAQ log down to be external facing and internal facing. So let's take an example. Imagine your FAQ log is 100 questions, but about 40 of those questions are internal discussions and internal information on how to process the data and not necessarily site facing. What you can do is take that 100 question FAQ log, take out those 40 questions and responses that are more internal, and send a site-specific FAQ log out to the sites so they can have their questions answered, and it's something that they can put in their investigator site file and refer to often. All of these little tips will help the study run smoother, because if a patient is in the office that has rheumatoid arthritis, the study coordinator can look at the FAQ log and see, oh no, this patient would not be eligible. And then that would alleviate a question back to the CRA. However, if the CRA does receive a question regarding the rheumatoid arthritis medical history, they can go to the FAQ log and see, oh, okay, there's a response here already. I don't even have to ask it. And as you can see, this alleviates your questions that come into you as a CTM to leave you the ability to work on the other tasks on your plate. So I hope you enjoyed that video and learning about the FAQ. It's a simple document that you should start at study startup and carry all the way through. If you do get on a study and you don't have an FAQ log already, you can start it at the point where you join and carry it through as well. Thanks for watching, and please be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when we have more videos for clinical research professionals.